What's up, guys? It's Adam here, aka Anti-Cena Guy, coming at you with my very first Raw review. The first Raw on Netflix. I know I said in a previous video that I wasn't going to make a video on this, but hey, I've just watched Raw moments ago and I've changed my mind. I will do a review for you about my honest opinions about the match cards, crowd reactions and many more. Okay. Overall, it was a good show, everybody. There's some things that I wish didn't happen, and there was some things that I'm glad happened. There was a few people who I wish could have been there, but they didn't turn up. But overall, the match quality-wise and everything else that was thrown on to tonight's Monday Night Raw was a success, and it was satisfying. Okay. Starts off with Triple H welcoming everyone to Netflix. Okay, he kicks off Raw, he's in the ring, you know, he had this big curtain over him, you know, showing footage and Titantrons of people all over the years. The curtain lifts, Triple H is there, he welcomes everyone to Raw, and it's the first Raw on Netflix, so basically he's promoting Netflix and welcome everybody to the show. It was nice to see Triple H. And then The Rock arrives, and you could say this is the people's champ, not the boss. Because now he seems to give this hunt now that he's now a babyface, because he comes to the ring, he tells a little bit of a background story about the Samoans, about his family, that his father was in heaven, and etc. And then he thanks Cody Rhodes, who's in the crowd. Okay. Last time these guys met, The Rock was beating the fuck out of Cody Rhodes, busting him open. But then he goes on and says that Cody Rhodes is a great champion. And then he had an awesome year with WWE, and that Cody Rhodes is doing a great job of being the champ. And he also says, say hi to your mama for me, you know. So The Rock is now hinting now that he's now a babyface. And I'm thinking, okay, to be honest, I'd rather The Rock stay a heel as the final boss, not as the people's champ. But it was nice to see The Rock. I expected it, to him to be there. And it was nice to see Cody Rhodes and The Rock, but for them to have this sort of chemistry now and The Rock turning babyface, I don't know how I feel about that. Personally, I would have kept him as a heel, you know, and kept him feuding, you know, with the likes of Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes and etc. You know, keep The Rock heel as the boss, that's all I can say, because he does a great job of being a heel. I mean, I like The Rock as babyface, but heel, I prefer him much better as a heel, especially with the new whole final boss persona. It suits him really well, his presence, the music, the way he, you know, expresses himself, you know, it's much more better. And he says he's going to watch the tribal combat between Solo and Roman Reigns. And the first match of the night, Roman Reigns defeats Solo in tribal combat. And now Roman Reigns is now officially the tribal chief. Excellent match. To be honest, I didn't expect this match to be the first match of the night. But this was a great match, everybody. I mean, there was a lot of back and forth, kicking out of manoeuvres. We had outside interferences, you know, Sami Zayn, Jimmy Uso came out, and we also had some interference from, you know, the Samoan werewolf, as I like to call him, and you know, some other more outside interference. There was a scene where the referee kept on getting knocked down. We had interference from Kevin Owens, who gave Roman Reigns a stunner. A poor stunner, by the way. You can never hit it as good as my homie, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Can you see him on my arm? On my arm? I'm sure you can there, look. Stone Cold Steve Austin. We'll never be able to hit as good as Stone Cold Steve Austin. But then Cody Rhodes came out and attacked Kevin Owens. There was some back and forth moments, and Roman Reigns ended up hitting Solo with the spear, hence winning the Samoan necklace, whatever they call it. What do they call it again? They call it the Ulafala, as I think. And basically, this was just like one big battle over that Samoan necklace, as I like to call it. And then The Rock comes out, he takes it off Paul Heyman, and he crowns Roman Reigns as the tribal chief. But overall, excellent match. I didn't expect it to be first, but overall it was a very amazing match and I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to give that one at least a B plus or an A minus. So I was really into that match. Both guys really put on an excellent performance. And then John Cena comes out and says that he's going to win the Royal Rumble. At first he's toying with the crowd, saying that him being a 17-time world champion is not going to happen. Okay, but he still believes in his persona of saying never give up. And he says the only way how he can win the 17 world title is by headlining WrestleMania. And the first thing he's got to do is win the Royal Rumble. So whether that's going to happen this year, John Cena tying with Stone Cold Steve Austin by being a 3-time Royal Rumble winner and actually being the 17-time champion at WrestleMania, I have no fucking idea, you know. So, but John Cena has declared that he's going to be winning the entrance into the Royal Rumble. I mean, I would put money on Cena that Cena's going to win, but the person who I want to win the Royal Rumble this year is going to be CM Punk. I want CM Punk to win the Royal Rumble. You know, he deserves it. He's not headline WrestleMania yet. He's not main evented it, you know. So, I'm pretty sure that's what Michael Cole said during the combat between him and Seth Rollins. That CM Punk has not, you know, done that yet. So, who knows. But he says he's going to be in the Royal Rumble, and kudos. Maybe you'll win, maybe you won't. Who knows? But I want CM Punk to be in the Royal Rumble, and I want CM Punk to win. So, but with it being John Cena's final year, you know, anything's possible. Anything's possible now in WWE. And in the next match, Rhea Ripley defeats Liv Morgan and becomes the women's champion. Fine match. Nothing wrong with this match. I do remember in this match there was a time where Liv Morgan was all over Rhea Ripley. There were some headbutts, there were some flips. But to tell you the truth, I was impressed with both women's performance in this match. I love Liv Morgan, I love Rhea Ripley. I couldn't really care less about who wins the title because I like them both equally. You know, but like I say, Rhea Ripley won the match. I mean, at the end of the match, she gives Dominic Mysterio a low blow. And then The Undertaker comes out as the American Badass on his motorcycle to congratulate Rhea Ripley. It was great seeing the dead man, and they both posed together. You know, so it was great to see The Undertaker. You know, I mean, I can't understand why he's coming out for Rhea Ripley's match. I think it sort of makes sense because I have like a similar gimmick, you know, badass gimmick, so it makes sense for The Undertaker to come out for Rhea Ripley. I suppose that's the only reason I can guess why. You know, so, yeah. And in the next match, Jey Uso, no, don't worry, I've not forgot about Hulk Hogan. I'll get to that at the very end, I'll speak like that, about that at the very end. Jey Uso defeated Drew McIntyre, and I must say, this is the only thing I did not like about tonight's Raw. Because Jey Uso, I mean, I've got nothing against him personally, but I'd rather see Drew McIntyre get the push over Jey Uso. I think Drew McIntyre is a 10 times better athlete. I think he deserves it more, you know. And for him just to lose to Jey Uso, I understand if they're going to push Jey Uso or win over Drew McIntyre would make more sense. But me personally, I'd rather see Drew McIntyre get the push. The match itself was okay. There was a scene at the end where Jey Uso was playing possum where he collapsed. And then he turns it into like some kind of roll-up. And he beats Drew McIntyre, you know, caught him off guard. Match itself was okay, but again, I'd have to say it was the poorest match of the night. I'm not saying it was a terrible match, but I'm not saying it was an amazing match either. The match was just there. But in my opinion, the wrong guy won. You know, it should have been Drew McIntyre. And in the main event, CM Punk defeated Seth Rollins. This was a fight. You can tell there was bitterness fueled in the air during this match. I mean, there were scenes where Seth Rollins was like delivering punches to CM Punk's head. A little thing that was a little bit caught off guard was like the main finishing moves were becoming less believable because Seth Rollins did the GTS to CM Punk a couple of times. He did the pedigree a couple of times, but these were supposed to be like finishing moves. But that was used too early in the match, and that was used repeatedly over and again. So it was like losing its touch or whatever. But apart from that, it was like a really good fight. It was very convincing. I mean, they both wanted to make it look as realistic as they could, as towards like they hated one another, and they did just that. I mean, there was a lot of punches, headbutts, very convincing blows to the head. And I was really impressed with how these guys tried to make this look like a real fight. You know, it was like very violent. And towards the end, you know, CM Punk got the win because he'd like did the GTS onto Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins was bleeding from the eye, and CM Punk got the victory, and that was it. You know. But let's talk about what everyone is now fucking talking about. Hulk Hogan. Alright. Hulk Hogan comes out to talk about Netflix, basically greeting the crowd, and all this crowd did was spit in Hogan's face, you know, and this was totally disrespectful. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with the Los Angeles crowd booing Hogan. Yes, I get it, Hulk Hogan has a reputation of being a liar, and he's got like a little bit of racism in him, you know, but this is all in the past. Why can't people put the fucking past to bed and move on with the times, okay? Hulk Hogan is a legend, right? And what Michael Cole said was purely accurate when Hulk Hogan did his entrance. He said if it weren't for this man, we would not be here today, and that's a true fact. Now, I love Hulk Hogan. I'm not just sticking up for him because I like him. I'm sticking up for him because everything what Michael Cole said about him was purely accurate, and that we would not be wrestling fans today. And we should like him because of that very purpose, you know. If it weren't for Hulk Hogan, I would not be here today making this video. I would not be a wrestling fan. Hulk Hogan was my very first favourite wrestler, ever. I started watching wrestling at the age of 5 and I was a Hulkamaniac. You know, and I'll forever love Hulk Hogan, you know. I'm not saying he's like the most amazing wrestler in the world, but still, he had his purpose. He was like the Babe Ruth of the sport. He's the reason why it's built up to the biggest empire that it is today. Without Hulk Hogan, there would not be a WWE, you know, and people need to realise that. And people need to remember the good in people rather than the bad. I'm not saying Hulk Hogan's an angel, I'm not saying he's a complete saint, but who is? You know, I'm certainly not. You know, and if we kept on beating ourselves up, you know, of all the bad things that we've done, we'd all be black and blue by now. You know, so I don't know what the fuck the problem is with the crowd, but nobody's talking about the main events, nobody's talking about the fucking title changes. All they're talking about is how Hulk Hogan was booed right out the fucking arena. And that's a damn shame. I honestly think it's a real damn shame. I mean, if people have got dislikes towards Hulk Hogan, they should keep that to themselves and keep that fucking private. Because personally, I didn't find it funny. I didn't think it was necessary to boo a legend like Hulk Hogan after everything that he's done for everybody and all that kind of thing. So that's just my honest opinion. People are going to come on here, I know, and say, but Hogan's done this, he's said this, he's done that, he's lied about this, he's lied about that. I don't fucking care. All I fucking care about is the good that he's done in WWE, and that he's made it what it is today, and that we would not be fans today of this product if it weren't for Hulk Hogan and Hulkamania. So that's all I'm going to say. Moving on from that, two things I wish would have happened, which would have made the icing on the cake of tonight. Stone Cold Steve Austin, you know, and I think he didn't show up for the same reason why he didn't show up at WrestleMania 40. Because of money issues, or that's probably because of what I heard, because he was supposed to be at WrestleMania 40 and he was supposed to deliver a stunner to The Rock. Instead they got Undertaker to take his place instead. But he was supposed to be appearing at Raw, but those ideas got scrapped for whatever fucking reason. That's a damn shame. If Austin would have shown up tonight, it would have been something extremely special. Even if he did a few stunners or drank a few beers with some of the stars in the crowd or whatever, that would have been fucking nice. Another thing that would have been fucking nice was another rumour that I heard. What if AJ Lee was supposed to make a return tonight and help CM Punk win? Therefore, CM Punk would, you know, continue his feud with Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch could be thrown into the equation, and they could be feuding with each other as a tag team. That's what I would have done. you know. But the same in AJ Lee's return for the Rumble or for something in the future or whatever. So I can understand they're not going to make too many surprises in one night. That's completely understandable. But it would have been more icing on the cake if CM Punk had help from somebody, and it would have been really nice if Stone Cold Steve Austin would have made an appearance, you know. But overall, great show. I really enjoyed it. The first Raw of Netflix. I'm looking forward to the Royal Rumble. It's a nice little feel to feel like a big wrestling fan again. But like I say, the only two disappointments of this was the way Hogan was treated, and I'd have to say the Jey Uso and the Drew McIntyre match. Well, the outcome, really. I want to see Drew McIntyre get the push rather than Jey Uso. That's just what I want, basically. But overall, really good match. I'd have to say my favourite match was probably the first one, the Tribal Combat, you know. But putting nothing down with Seth Rollins and CM Punk, it was a convincing fight. Both guys really did a great job. So, yeah, I liked it. I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad that I made this review. What did you think about it, guys? Did you really enjoy it? I'd like to hear your thoughts and comments below. Leave them below. And hopefully we can get a conversation going on this. So, yeah, Raw on Netflix, the first episode. Really enjoyed it. Great show. A few disappointments, but to be expected. And there's a few unnecessary things that happened on Raw that we could have done without, but nothing's perfect, and yeah, that's basically my review, everybody. So overall, great show, really enjoyed it. It was nice to see The Undertaker and The Rock and all that. I don't know why The Rock is back being the people's champ, I have no fucking idea. He should be the fucking boss. So peace out, everyone. Have a nice day. Peace.